And we're back. Hello, YouTube. Today marks the third week of Sebastian and I doing something creative or something cool every week. This week we were recording our dreams. So we're gonna dive right into that. Anything you'd like to add, Sebastian?
Not really. I like the diversity of the challenges that we engage ourselves in. I like the fact that the last week we were doing something more serious, if you may call it that. The topic was more challenging, and this week we are doing something lighter,
A
something
little more
something
chill.
funnier. So the versatility here is nice to acknowledge, I think, and that's all that
Excellent.
I can say.
Did you ever end up re-uploading your video without the music? Because YouTube was having an issue with it for some reason.
Yeah, I didn't. That's something I actually gonna create an alarm for that, because if I don't have an alarm for something like that, I'm just gonna never do it. But if
Yeah.
I'm just gonna create an alarm right now, and I'm probably gonna be able to do it and this today. Yeah, before I go to sleep.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll make
I
sure to
think
upload that.
so. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's a short. Yeah,
So, uh,
let's go.
so do you want to start off with your dreams, or do you want me to go first, or what?
I think you go first. You go
Okay.
first. You've got more material.
Okay.
Uh, hopefully, and yeah, just go first, I think, and we'll go from there. We'll see what it comes down to.
All right. So night one. This was kind of a collection of bits and pieces of dreams. I'm not exactly sure how it all fits together, but I remember a segment of the dream where I was waiting at the side entrance of my high school. There's like a parking lot, the school, and then there's like a corner of the building. And so at the corner of their building, there was a bunch of different footballs on the ground. Uh, because the football team was practicing. I played football back in high school, um, and we have a football actually at my house in Amherst that we throw around, but it's not like the type of football that I want. The type of football that we used to practice with actually in high school was like perfect. It was a great football, but they're very expensive. But anyway, so there's all these footballs on the ground, and I wanted to take one, but I couldn't decide which ball I wanted. I had a clear vision of the ball that I wanted in my head, the kind that we used to practice with, but none of the balls fully fit that image. Like some of the balls had like weird lacing on them. Some of them were like kind of weirdly shaped, or like the texture was bad, or maybe there was two laces instead of one. And so none of them fit the image, and I ended up not picking one. Another segment of the dream, I was laying on the small metallic electric airplane, thousands of feet off the ground. And I remember looking down, like scared I was gonna fall, and everything on the ground was so small. And I don't know why, but like somehow I think my brother was related to it. Like I think my brother was like there with me, but I didn't see him because I was all alone. And then another part of the dream was I was talking to the manager of my home gym in Framingham. Her name is Lori, except it wasn't Lori. I mean, it looked like her, but she wasn't a manager of the gym. She was like a different, like ethereal version of Lori. She kind of had like blue skin and like tattoos and stuff. And she was very nice. She was very kind and understanding, and I felt like she heard me. I don't really know what that means, but anyway, night two. Um, this one's actually kind of funny. So there's this girl that I was crushing on earlier in the semester. This like super like pretty like ginger girl, and anyway, so in this dream, her and her friends came over to my house to hang out, and so me and my friends were all hanging out with her and her friends, and it was a chill time. I was trying to click with her like the whole night, like kind of like get her to like me, and I was, you know what I mean? And but for some reason, it just didn't seem like she liked me. And so when they were leaving, I was chatting to her at the door, and her face looked different. Her face started to morph into something weird, and it still like looked like a normal person, but I was like, that's not the girl that I remember. She kind of like started to like look a little less attractive, and it was weird. Um, and so at the end of the night, she's leaving. and she gave me a hug before she left, and I remember thinking like that's kind of weird. Like, why are you hugging me? Like, if you were acting like you didn't really like me all night. And then before she left, I said, and I quote, "I'm trying to be normal, and I want you to see that." And then she left, and I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, why did I just say that to her? That's so weird. And so I ran to my buddy, Dave, who was in the kitchen, and I was like, dude, you're never going to believe what I just said. Like, it's the stupidest thing. And that was when the dream ended. So ironically, or not necessarily ironically, but weird enough, we ended up seeing this girl in the bar the night that I had that dream, like the night before. And she was with all of her friends, and all of my friends were like, dude, she's so hot. And I was like, yeah, I know. And I said hi to her, and that was that. But my one buddy David was like, dude, she looks like a normal girl. Like, you're like gassing her up too much. So I think that's maybe where, like, in my dream, she like started to like morph into like a less attractive version of herself, which is kind of funky. Night 3, I don't really remember anything that well. So yeah, I have written down, I'm having a tough time remembering. I think I remember hanging out with Dave, who's my roommate. So that's all there is for that. Night 4, I was at a summer camp. This was last night. I was in a summer camp, like in the city, and we're basically like talking or taking this random woman through a bunch of different like apartment complexes, like different like living areas with like shops and stuff all around. And so she's trying to decide where she wants to live. And so while we're waiting for like the main camp counselor to like explain the apartment complex to this woman, I was playing dodgeball with a bunch of the campers, and I was a camper myself. And I remember I was like the last man standing in dodgeball, and I felt kind of weird because I looked around and all the camp counselors, were kids that I went to high school with, and I remember feeling kind of stupid, like childish, like all these kids I went to high school with are my superiors in this situation. I felt dumb. And yeah, that was 4 nights of my dreams. Yeah.
Nice. Were you able to recall all that from your memory, or you have something written down and you've been going off by some notes?
I have notes that I was looking at.
Okay, yeah. God damn, I was worried that your memory is so fucking strong.
No.
I would feel kind of weird here. I've got some notes. I've got some notes as well. So I've got 2 dreams. The goal was 3, but I've got 2. I wasn't able to make my brain generate more. So, and one was absolutely fucking crazy. So I'm gonna start off with the one that I remember less of. So I was supposed to go to a barber shop with my brother. We turn up to the barber shop, and my neighbor that I know quite well, but she's no one super close, is one of the barbers in the barber shop, and I had some kind of a coupon for two people that was about to about to expire, but I really wanted to redeem this coupon, and I got into a quarrel with like the whole barber shop, and I called my mom to help me redeem this coupon, and my mom didn't answer, and the last part of the dream was like an insane quarrel, like chairs flying and like a battle royale inside of the barber shop, in which one of the barbers was my neighbor. So that's like the first one. And listen, brother, listen to the second night of my dream. Listen to that. So, damn, in the second dream, the characters were Joe Rogan, Theo Von, me, and two of the other friends. So the five of us went on like a trip on the, I don't know how they call it, but they're like kind of like a snow bikes, like the vehicles that you are able to ride on the snow.
The
So
snowmobiles.
snowmobiles, yeah, maybe something like that.
Okay.
Snowmobiles. So we went on a trip on the snowmobiles. Joe Rogan, Theo Von, me, and two other friends off-roaded to a cabin in the woods. Mm, they have they have spent the night. We all have spent the night in the cabin, and in the morning, mm, in the in the morning when you're supposed to go, I don't know, somewhere else. Um, Joe Rogan and Theo Von murdered the rest of the people in the cabin with machine guns. Like like shot all of them. And uh, this part of the dream ends in kind of like Joe my perspective on Joe Rogan and Theo Von in jail, totally not taking accountability for their actions. They were both like trying to weasel out of the situation when they clearly murdered all the people in the cabin with machine guns. And um, and that was like the first part of the dream. And the second part of the dream was me and those two friends, one of which had a like a house in Marbella, a really like a real nice villa. It was us worrying about the fact that we may be considered complicit in the crime and being like arrested by Interpol or something for being like a part of the group that that had Joe Rogan and Theo Von like certified murderers. So I've got a, and there were yeah, and there was like a scene of like the Joe Rogan podcast, him and Theo Von talking about the fact that they are pretty much innocent in this conversation, something like that. Yeah, so that's how that's how it played out.
That's a wild dream.
Yeah, it was one of the it was super wild and super long as well. I probably forgot like a real good portion of it. However, I think you got the gist of what happened in there. Yeah, so that was the case. Those were my dreams for the week.
So before Theo Von and Joe Rogan killed everyone in the cabin, were they chill? Like, were you talking to them and being like, "Oh, these guys
Oh
are cool"?
fuck yeah, yeah. We've been having a little adventure on snowmobiles.
It's hard to be lame on a snowmobile.
Okay,
Hmm?
are we? Yeah, we are fine. We just yeah, we just hung out, and then there was a scene in there where they were escaping, and there was like a helicopter that called them. They nearly escaped in the mountains on the snowmobiles, but yeah, they got to them, and there were those scenes in prison where they're not taking accountability. Yeah, quite a dream indeed.
I wonder what that means. Should we go into like trying to analyze these or what?
I have an explanation for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have an explanation for that. I've been trying to. I've been really interested in the subject of people with audiences. Like Joe Rogan is, I think, a prime example of that phenomenon, of what kind of responsibility for making research, asking tough questions, challenging your interlocutor during the conversation. What sort of responsibility do you have as a person with such a large audience and such a reach, which converts clearly to your uh, like your ability to influence other people, their thoughts and all that. And yeah, I've been listening to some to I think maybe it's like in my bubble, but I've been listening to more and more people talking about the fact that those people with such large audiences have a responsibility to like be better researched, to push back on certain narratives and all that. And I think Joe Rogan has been doing a worse and worse job of that and not taking the responsibility, not being accountable to his audience. And that was like my brain's manifestation of all of those of all of those mm, thoughts I think and ideas surrounding this whole thing. Mm, yeah, yeah. So that's my explanation. If I've got any, that's I think the best one I can give
Damn.
to all that.
Dude, your dreams are pretty chaotic. Like a quarrel with chairs being thrown and Joe Rogan and Theo Von killing people with machine guns. Dude, my dreams are so mundane.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. That's a nice observation. Yeah, I I see that there is just a lot of chaos in there. Yeah.
Do you feel like your life like reflects that? Do you think that you have a chaotic life? Or do you think that you
I
have like a chill life, but then your brain it kind of is like seeking more excitement, so it creates crazy dreams?
I love the question. Um, my life is not very chaotic right now. There were periods before that that were way less chaotic, and like Thailand being like the prime example of that. But even when I was like 16, I've been 15, 16. Uh, I've been I've been running around and doing some crazy stuff. Some which I'm not really that proud of, but like whatever.
Yeah, what can you
You're
do?
young and all that. So maybe uh, if we are looking for any explanation, I would lean more towards the version where my life is not as chaotic and my brain is trying to compensate or something. Maybe, yeah. I actually I don't want to say I thrive in chaos because that's not really putting it the best. However, I probably feel better in chaos than most people. Uh, yeah, I I uh, I have a tendency for feeling myself in those chaotic situations. Yeah.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. My dreams were just a collection of like me being like scared or embarrassed. What's up with that? So
Mm-hmm.
one of the when I said that thing in my dream where I said, I'm trying to be normal and I want you to see that, I'm like trying to wrap my mind around that. I think that largely sums up a lot of how I feel, especially when I talk to new people. I'm just like trying to because you know what I noticed? Every time I get excited about something, especially when talking to girls, like if I like get excited and I start like showing a bit more personality, they kind of like take a step back. Like I was talking to this girl in school the other day, and she was talking to me about how she like studied abroad in Barcelona, and I was like, "Oh, do you know so and so? Like they're my friends." And I showed a little bit more interest. I took another like a metaphorical step in the conversation, and she took a metaphorical step back, and I recognized that, and I was like, okay, time to tone it down. Like time to start asking stupider questions that are a bit more broad because I don't want to overstep a boundary here. It's kind of a weird back and forth that it's challenging to navigate that with certain people, especially girls. So
That's yeah, yeah. Is that all? I that's something that's not the first time you tell me about this mm, this tension between uh, being forthcoming enough so that your interest uh, is seen and possibly appreciated, and like overstepping the boundary. I feel like
yeah,
that's something that that's on your mind quite a lot, which is fine, which is absolutely a fine concern
yeah,
to be uh, I don't want to say struggling with, if that's like just something on
yeah. I
your
wouldn't say
mind.
I'm struggling. I would just say that I'm like hyper aware of that.
Yeah. I just don't have an English word for
Yeah,
that. So I just said struggling, and I was trying to tiptoe my way back
yeah.
from any offensive
I'm not
comments.
offended.
But yeah,
I don't care.
okay, yeah, that's what I was,
But
and yeah, it's interesting. One thing that's on my mind that came up as you've been describing what you think about your dreams was the like how dreams reflect our uh, unconscious mind. I
yeah,
think something like that. Yeah, the stuff that we are not really aware, but still affects our life. It's like a Freudian notion or something like that, which is like definitely true. There is definitely something there. I probably don't have the ability to construct super interesting
yeah,
or appealing narrative around it. However, that's just an interesting subject of this unconscious mind, and to what extent it affects our daily life, and also as a phenomenon in dreams as
yeah.
well.
I think that the topic of like recording our dreams and then discussing them, I think that actually yields pretty interesting conversations because these are things that we wouldn't have otherwise likely talked about unless we're discussing dreams, you know?
I just, goddamn, my internet got shut off for like
Cut out.
5 or 10 seconds.
God damn.
I've got to do something with this internet, and I only have this problem while I'm on Zoom calls. Um, I'm giving it's super weird when I'm doing online lessons with people teaching English. I also have this problem of my
You
of
teach
my
English?
internet. Yeah,
What? I had
I
no
do.
idea.
Yeah, I do teach English. Like, that's like a very typical way of earning money in Poland for people. Yeah,
That's so interesting.
teaching
How
teaching
long have you
English.
been doing that?
Mm, oh, years now, 2, 3 years, maybe. Yeah,
Dude, you're fucking
something like
sick.
that. Yeah, I'm not doing too much of that. I've got one, two, three. I've got 4 students now.
Dude, that is so baller.
Yeah. So that's a super nice way of earning money, because you can charge way more than you would have earned doing like a stupid job working in a cafe or something like that. There is an element of like a component of satisfaction of just teaching people something and seeing them grow into what you've told them. Yeah, the parents are satisfied, they appreciate it. You don't have to leave the house, so there is just a lot of components that work
Yeah.
really well with mm, yeah, with that.
Yeah, a lot of
Absolutely.
upside. That's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Can you tell this part that got cut off
Oh yeah.
again?
Yeah, no, I think that recording and analyzing our dreams
Oh yeah.
yield
Okay,
pretty
yeah.
interesting conversations because these are topics that we might not have been aware of if we didn't pay attention to our dreams, and therefore we wouldn't be talking about them,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. True. You gotta like make a conscious effort to get to get to those questions, and also have someone on the other side that's also involved in doing this to make it make sense. Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. It yielded a pretty interesting discussion.
Dude,
Yeah.
when we first thought of the idea to like record our dreams and like talk about them, my first thought was like generally listening to people talk about their dreams, at least if it's like someone who I don't really know, like it's like if someone were to watch us on the internet and see us talking about our dreams, they'd be like, why the hell should I care? Some random guy's dream. But I don't know. I feel like this was cool.
Hmm. Yeah. It got us into a pretty interesting territory.
Yeah.
But I agree. I agree. Yeah, that's something to keep in mind while choosing like the next challenges and all that.
Well, if
What
worst comes to worst, I think that the dream topic is always a safe default.
that's also the case. Yeah, that's also some idea that we can just do it again, or as like an addition to something like that. Yeah. God damn, no one does this. Who records their dreams and talks about it and it came out so nice. Yeah. Huh. Who would have
Pretty
thought?
good. Should we continue to analyze, or should we start to wrap it up? What are you thinking?
Well, I don't know if you've got any other questions, any other thoughts on the topic off the top of your mind. Uh,
Let's see. Well, I could actually continue to analyze a little bit about like how all these dreams kind of reflect me feeling like uncomfortable or stupid or embarrassed. And I do think it was because when I was younger, um, especially actually when I was like very young, my cousins and like my aunts and uncles, I was a little problematic, but they were very unaccepting of me. And so from there, I mean, family outcasting you was like, I mean, that definitely like affected me deeper than I think I'm consciously aware of. And then going into school as a young kid, I always felt outcasted because, again, I was problematic. And, I had a great life at home, like with my immediate family, but at school, I was struggling to make friends and people didn't like me because they were scared of me because I was a bully. And just like a hard time making friends and trying to feel like I belong. And so it's kind of weird now that, I'm 21 years old. I have, a lot of friends, people like me. I like people, regarded as like, a nice guy. It's kind of weird now that it still manifests in my dreams. Um, so I guess it's something that I need to continue to kind of be aware of and work on. And then also this one about the football. I couldn't find the perfect football for me, so I just didn't end up taking one. Um, I think that might relate to the fact that I'm always waiting for the right time to do something. But realistically, if I keep on waiting for the right time, there's never going to be the right time. You just need to jump on it and do it. And I think that's something that I'm kind of grappling with now with Nate's Natty. I'm like waiting for these different student organizations to give me um, feedback because I'm working with these different student organizations and they're going to be helping Nate's Natty out with this rebrand that I'm doing. And they keep on postponing it. Oh, next week. Oh, next week. Oh, we should have something for you after Thanksgiving. But I think I'm starting to realize now that it's like if I keep on waiting for these people to help me, I'm never going to get the help that I need, and I'm never going to progress. So I don't know. I think that the football thing was kind of a reflection of the fact that I need to make a decision and I need to start moving. So that's like my total. Oh, and then the other thing, Lori, the lady from the gym, like the manager who like wasn't Lori in the dream, the ethereal version. I think that was just a reflection of she's just a very nice lady. I just think she's very kind.
Okay, a simpler explanation here. Up
Yeah.
until what point were you mentioned that you were a bully, and you've already mentioned it to me, I think so some time ago, but I thought you were a bully in like kindergarten or something like that.
Yeah, no, I was a bully until second grade ish, but then after that, I tried to be nicer and make more friends, but I had trouble in elementary school. Um, so I more so felt outcasted, but I was still a troublemaker. Like I wasn't bullying kids for instance, but I was definitely like messing with the teachers and like not doing my work and like acting out. Um, like I have a specific thing I'm thinking of where back in third grade I straightened out a paper clip so it was like a stick, and I like walked around the hallways menacing, and they had to like lock everyone in the classrooms, and I'm just in the hallway just with a paper clip, and like it was really stupid. I definitely shouldn't have done that, but I don't know, man. I was just doing things. I was like a troublemaker. And no one wanted to be my friend because of it.
Making a spear from the paper clip.
Yeah, man, I was always making weapons in school, man. I remember I would like
Picking
sharpen sticks like on the
picking
blacktop, and
paper
I'd
with
have like
that.
a spear.
God damn. How
Yeah.
long have you been training American football?
Hmm?
American football. You
Oh,
mentioned American football.
yeah, no,
Have you
dude.
been
I
training that?
I only played when I was a freshman in high school. Like, it's
Oh.
weird because I remember I was so competitive about it. We were doing these summer lifts, and the coaches were saying like, dude, you're going to make varsity as a sophomore. And I was very excited for it because I really enjoyed football. I enjoyed lifting and trying to outdo all the other kids, and I liked the fact that I was getting recognition from these coaches saying like you're a great player, you're a diamond in the rough, and we're going to put you on varsity as a sophomore. So I got the custom helmets, the custom pads, and one day I just never showed up, and I never showed up again.
For real? And
Yeah,
that's the whole story.
and that was the end. Yeah, and I never played football
But
again.
you've had something better to do, or what?
No, I just didn't. I mean, dude, I have no idea why I never showed up again.
Uh-huh.
I think I was scared of the commitment. I think that it was getting too real for me, and which is something that I think about, now even with the soap business. I think, there's a piece of me that's scared to like really fully do it. There's a piece of me that's scared to fully do anything. I'm scared that if I fail, it's like, what do I do? But that's a bad mindset. I don't know.
Oh, oh yeah, it is, but it's understandable. I totally feel you. I totally feel you. The 100% commitment is a scary thing for the mind to make sense of. Absolutely, because if you give 100% of yourself and you fail, what does that make you? What's left there?
Yeah.
What's the identity after that happens? Yeah, yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it, and yeah, like every person has to find a way to to overcome that. I've also been thinking about it because lately I really feel like I've been stretching myself thin with the sheer amount of commitments that I got myself into, like sports, student organization, uni, AI agents, recording something on Instagram, whatever, doing a lot of things, but nothing too serious. And I think it gives my brain a way out that I always can say, if it doesn't work out, I always can say, yeah, I didn't give my give 100%. Of course, it was not gonna work. So it's like a preemptive strategy
Yeah.
for myself, for my brain to not take accountability, and then it's not like I'm slacking off like everywhere. That's also not the case. However, this 100% commitment is really something that was on my mind, and I really also feel like a lot of people that are involved in the process of like giving advice, mentors, whatever, those those people that we look up to, they keep repeating that those last 10 20%, whatever, 5%, this full commitment to something is something that really actually matters. This last 5% um, that you get to at some point. And yeah, I just I just wasn't I'm just not able to commit 100% to something now, which may be the case for this stage of my life, but it also may be a strategy to not really take accountability. So we gotta be careful with that. Absolutely,
Hmm.
I feel you. Yeah.
Maybe it's worth turning that into a challenge for one of these coming weeks. Like pick one aspect of your life and give it, as much as you can for a week.
Oh, absolutely.
That could be
Go the
interesting.
extra mile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That's absolutely the case. Yeah. I totally. Uh, I'm totally into that.
Because, dude, I
Um,
noticed, especially in my soap business, like when I really put forth the effort, especially in the summertime when I have the time to do it, like things just start moving, things start clicking, and it's like, I start getting more sales just because I start thinking about it more. And I feel like other people start to think about it more, and then I start making these sales. It's like, I don't know. And then I just apply like the minimum or bare minimum effort, and things are stagnant for a while. And it's like I wonder why it's not taking off. It's because like I'm not 100%.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know Conor McGregor?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Okay, so Conor, but from the era this 2000, I don't know, it was 2000 maybe 15 to 18, this like prime era of Conor, where he was just this monster, the most self-confident person on the planet, the guy who's been knocking people left and right, picking the rounds and all that. He really said a lot of uh, sort of motivational stuff, but he is complete, unwavering commitment that that he had for martial arts and for the whole craft. He used the words like, "I lost my mind in this game." Like he was all in on this on whatever he was doing, and he really credited this full commitment uh, on martial arts for the immense success that that he got. So um, yeah, you got me thinking about that right now. And I'm trying to set my mind straight on all this subject. It's uh, it's
We'll have
it's
to figure that one out.
what that was that was with regards to the recorded part. I think that's what we can choose what we're gonna do for the next week.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
I'll stop the recording. Is there anything you'd like to add before the recording stops?
Mm, no, not really. I talked enough today.
Yeah.
I think that's it from me.
All right. Well, thank you for watching, viewers. yeah, I mean, stay tuned for next week. Catch you guys in the flip flop. Let's stop this recording. Yeah.